If you're new to Jujutsu Shenanigans and want a clear guide to actually master this game, then this is the right guide for you. Because in this tutorial and guide today, I'm not only sharing tips and tricks, but I'm going to also show you practice tricks in the video and also showing you character overviews. So this video will be really helpful, especially for beginners, and this might be the only guide that you'll need. First, you want to adjust your settings in Jujutsu Shenanigans. So if your PC cannot handle this high game property, I would recommend you to go to settings and actually lower your graphics mod and actually lower your graphics quality. So if your PC cannot handle this type of power, 3 to 4 is okay. But if your PC can handle your power, you can go to max if you want, but that's not necessary. Another thing, the settings that I want to show you, especially in Jujutsu Shenanigan game, is to disable blood and disable screen shake if you want better playing style and if you want better quality and ping. But if your PC can handle a lot of power, I would recommend you turning on screen shake because it's really fun to play with it. Next, in the control, you have to enable auto use and auto run because these two are real important. Because if we don't enable auto run, what will happen is that you'll actually walk in, have to press double W to sprint. We don't want that in the middle of a fight. So you want to enable auto run. And if you don't enable auto use, if you press the keybind, it will actually just equip it, but actually not implement it. And to implement it is actually click M1. So that's not necessary if you use auto use. So make sure to turn on these two settings. They're really important for your preference in battling. Before even going to the game mechanics and tips and tricks, first you should have a good knowledge about the characters. So Jujutsu Shenanigans is a game where the anime is based on Jujutsu Kaisen, okay? So yeah, now there are a lot of characters. For example, this is Gojo, Sukuna, this is Hakari, this is Megumi, Perfection, Blood Manipulator, Switcher, Goto, this is Goto, Defense Attorney, Crush Partners. There's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 characters, literally 14 characters in a single Battlegrounds game. So first you have to have knowledge in these games. Now, to actually have knowledge in these characters, you don't have to actually do hard work just to play with it with the dummy. There's a simple shortcut. So I'm going to show you this shortcut right now. So if you want to know the moveset and the knowledge, the R ability about some characters, you can just search it up into YouTube. For example, I want to know about Honored One. So I'm going to say Gojo because Gojo is the Honored One. Gojo moveset. We're gonna search JJs, which stand for Jujutsu Shenanigans, and we're gonna say Roblox. So we're gonna search. What you're gonna do is actually search every character like this, moveset Jujutsu Shenanigans, and watch the entire video to have a knowledge about each characters. Now you might be asking, why should we have knowledge about each characters? Like, I can just learn the moveset of the character that I'm going to use. But no, this doesn't work like that. Because if you don't know the knowledge of all characters, you will not know what character you're fighting. For example, if you fight a Hakuri, you don't know what's his passive abilities, what he can do with his Doors ability, what he can do with his 4 ability, R ability. If you don't know this, especially if you don't know which abilities are blockable and unblockable, you might be get cooked by that user. So you have to know every character's really important. That's the most important part, especially when you're a beginner, to have knowledge about every characters and actually play against them. So what you should do is actually play this game a lot and you'll build up an experience where you know what every character does. After you learned every moveset and knowledge about each character, now it's your time to pick a main character. For example, in my last aura farming video, I mained Gojo, and I'm a Gojo main user, but sometimes I use Sukuna too, as you can see. Now, there are out of 14 characters, I recommend you 4 characters that you should use. First of all, Honored One, Gojo, Vessel, Sukuna, Restless Gambler, Hacker. These 3 main are really great for literally taking a fight for a pro player. These 4 abilities are really important for beginners and these are really friendly to use. So these are for bigger friendly characters. So if you want to play defense and actually kind of want to have a tank, like your HP will regain faster, or if you want to keep your HP, Wrestler's Gambit or Hopper is the best option. But if you want to play aggressive, literally dashing to opponents, beating them in 10 seconds, Vessel is the one. But if you want to pick your fight calmly, means if you want to handle fight, teamers, runners, Honored One or Gojo is the best. And if you want to be spammy, like really annoying character, you should use 10 Shadows or Mega Boot. This character is kind of OP, man. Everyone hates this character, but if you use this character, you'll have a good advantage on pro players and also normal players. When you have your main character, you should know these things. First, what does the 4 abilities do? For example, the Curse Strike, the Crushing Blow, the Divergent Fist or Black Flash, and Magi K. So Curse Strike is literally a rapid action like this, and Crushing Blow is like this, and Divergent Fist is a Black Flash. So you have to know these 4 abilities, and you should also know the R ability. For example, if you Divergent Fist, I can just do this R ability and actually fake it. So this is Supernus R ability, and you should know this R abilities as well. Then you should know the variation of abilities. For example, I can use the Crushing Blow like this, from jumping and actually dashing through. The normal Divergent Fist is different, but if you want to use Black Flash, you can use it twice like this. It's from the back, so you can do it again. You see these special abilities and special variations of abilities you should know if you want to main a character. So you should know the special abilities. For example, Sakura's special ability and its special secret is this, where if you actually use Black Flash from the back, you can use it 4 to 5 times, I think.
What? This. 4.
These can use this 4 times and lose your HP in one single ability. There are many secret and variations for each character, and you should know them, especially for the character that will main. Now let's get into our first game mechanic, which is movement. For movement, I included dash because that's the first thing you should know as a beginner. So there are 4 types of dash if we include right and left in Jujutsu Shenanigans. So the first one is front dash, just like this. Second one is the right side dash and left side dash. And the fourth one is back. So these 4 dashes are a crucial part of Jujutsu Shenanigans. So the front dash, you can use it like this. So if you press Q, you will get the front dash, and if you press the S button, so you move to right, then this dash you will get to the side dash. And if you use S, for example, if you want to go to the back, then use Q and we'll get to the back dash. So to aim a dash in a dummy, for example, I'm in the private server, so I'm going to show you to a dummy. We just do Q and just do the front dash. You see, in the front dash, you actually get extra M1, which causes 1% HP probably. Now, if the dummy is in front of you, for example, this is the back, right? But if it's in front of you, for example, if a player is in front of you, you should not use dash every time because dash is blockable. Front dash is blockable pretty easily, just like this. So if you just do front dash in a player, immediately he will block it and counter you. And so you should use front dash from the back. Okay, I threw him to the top where you can see. So now, when you do straight front dash like this, don't do this because they can block this. So your opponent can block like this when you're doing a front dash. So what you should do is front dash from the back, just like this. You see what he did? So there, the front dash has a good duration time. So whenever you do it, just do it like this. So anomaly shift lock. What you want to do is when you press Q, you press W and you want to go right over here. So for instance, like this. So then this block will be actually unblockable because if they're blocking from the front and you can dash from the back right over here. So it will take time to actually block back the backdash. So what you do is Q and the backdash just like this. Practice this for a few moments and master this backdash. The next thing is side dash. So side dash plays a major role in dodging. For example, if a heavy hollow purple or lapse blue or any types of throwing ability comes, or even a dustbin, if someone throwing a dustbin at you, what you should do is side dash to dodge it. But another use of side dash is also forming a backdash. Okay, so the dummy respawned. I mean, I took him over here. What you should do is side dash just like this to go to his back and do a punch. So it's kind of hard. Even I cannot do it perfectly. But the thing is, you want to side dash and punch at the back. You have to do it really fast. Now it's time for the back dash. So back dash doesn't have an important impact in anything. It's just for dodging a throwing attack or just for running. So you can use back dash for running if you were afraid, or you can just dodge some throwing object or throwing abilities. Now it's time to learn about blocking. Okay, first of all, blocking is the most important feature any Battlegrounds game have. So to block, you have to press the F button in your keyboard. So what you have to do is if you just spam block like this every single time, you'll get backdashed, just like I showed you. If imagine this is a player just spamming block, you can just backdash him just like this, or do a side dash and do a back punch. So what you should do is actually block whenever they're using a blockable ability. You see, I told you to have the good overview in character and a good knowledge. That's why it's really important to learn this, because whenever your opponent is going to make ability that's blockable, you just press F button and boom, you're blocked. But you should not spam this because you'll get backdashed. Another thing is you have to time your blocks perfectly so you can block their punch, block their abilities, and actually counter them. So to practice this, you actually have to go to search and actually go to duels and fight many people and actually try to block stuff, because if you cannot block, man, you're gonna get cut. So make sure to time your block perfectly. Or what you can do, actually invite one of your friends and tell them to use random blockable abilities so you can practice it block time. And at the video end, I'm gonna also show you a practice drill that you should do where you can fix some mistakes and stuff. So make sure to watch until video 2. Now we're gonna talk about player states. So this step is made by me, and I count player states as 2. First is active, and the second is freezed. So player states are important because, for example, if you do a front dash, the player is originally active. For example, me, I'm active, okay? So when a player can use any abilities, do M1 or even dash, then the player is active. But if a player cannot use any abilities or cannot block or cannot do anything like standing still, then he's freezed. So for example, this dummy is actually in a freezed position because it's a dummy, but if it was a player, he would be in active state. So remember that I told you that if you front dash, they can immediately block it, right? Because they're in an active state, so they can do anything they want. So if you want to actually land a front dash without them blocking, what you have to do is make them in a free state. How to make free states? So there are definitely many ways to get them in a free state. For example, an M1 gives them a 0.5 second freeze state. So if you do M1, they cannot actually do anything for 0.5 seconds. And if you do the burst strike, for example, in this character, they also cannot do anything for 0.5 seconds. And also crushing blow, like any abilities stun them, so they're freezed. They're stunned for 0.5 seconds, and they're also stunned for 0.5 seconds. So whenever you use an ability or use M1, they're freezed. So then you can actually implement them. Another thing is when they actually, for example, they coming to me, someone is dashing towards me and I blocked them, then they will be also freezed for 0.5 seconds. Then you can actually counter them with their abilities and stuffs. So these 2 player states are important. So as summary, a player who can use any keyboards, any keyboard buttons and abilities, they're active. But when they cannot use anything, they're standing still for a low amount of time, they're freeze. For example, doing M1s, doing different abilities, or making them counter with blocks. Now it's finally time for y'all to actually do this practice drill and actually improve in Jujutsu Shenanigans. Learning these tips and tricks will help you in some battles, but it will not help you against pro players because you have to actually fix your mistakes. You have to identify your mistakes. So what you have to do is actually invite a pro Jujutsu Shenanigans player. It could be your friend, or you can find different Jujutsu Shenanigans player in Discord servers. What you have to do is actually invite them in a private servers And actually, what do you want them? Yes. First, what you're going to do is install OBS Studio or any screen recorder app, or even use the default Windows screen recorder, and actually screen record the whole 1v1 with a pro friend. Now, there's 99% chance you'll lose, and that's the thing we want, because when you lose, if you put the screen record in slow motion, for example, 0.5 speed, you can actually identify your mistakes pretty fast. Like, ask your question or ask the question like, why did this happen? Why he could land this ability on me? It could be because I didn't block timing, is because I didn't dodge it. Whatever the mistake is, you have to identify that mistake and actually practice it. For example, if you're bad at dodging, tell your friend to do random unblockable abilities and make sure I can dodge them. If you're bad at block timing, make sure to tell them to actually put blockable abilities so I can block them. So there are many things you should identify your mistake, and this is the number one practice drill that I recommend you. You'll see after a week of practicing like this 1v1ing with a pro friend, you'll identify your mistake and actually fix them manually with the help of Kit. And make sure to not pick new players so you win. It's not about your wins. It's about identifying your mistakes and actually fixing them so you can be a better Jujutsu Shenanigans player. And overall, practicing this drill will actually make you pro in just 10 days. You see, I got 823 kills, and I've been playing this only for a week or two, and actually got this amount of skills. And actually, I just play for 40 to 1 hour, not much. So this tutorial is for PC mains, and if you're actually playing Jujutsu Shenanigans on mobile, I have unfortunate news for you. You should not play this game on mobile. You'll get your like what? You're gonna be cooked every time. So make sure to follow this guide and comment down below what you need help on. And in future, I'm trying to plan to make first second videos. So make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully you enjoyed this guide.